Hey, boys, I know it's the off season, but we don't talk, Cardinals much, but does something seem amiss with with them right now? They have dropped to 17th in payroll and seem risk-advised to spending money this offseason outside of Contreras. Publicly, they say that they like their team, but internally they have to know this team is not better than last year. Jobu.
I think it's risk-adverse.
Yeah, I screwed that one up.
It's funny, there was something on social media that said the Cardinals are working on a blockbuster deal behind the scenes, but they don't want to make it public. Well, of course they don't. I mean, I don't believe that's the case.
Whoa, that was Jim Bowden's report.
Jim
Bowden in The Athletic said that the Cardinals were working to acquire, quote, a certain player.
I believe the Cardinals are always working on certain deals. Always.
Yeah.
Always. I don't know if that's the case where they're close to it or where it's going to happen. I kind of get the sense the Cardinals like where they are. Like I said, I think they could use another starting pitcher, more importantly, a left-handed bat. Those are the areas where I think they could use upgrades.
The Cardinals should go after Shane Bieber. I was going to say Indians. The Guardians.
Oh, don't you make that mistake on this show.
They always trade away their pitchers with a couple years left. They already paid Jose Ramirez. They're not going to pay anybody else. They didn't pay Trevor Bauer. They traded Trevor Bauer at the trade deadline when he had a year and a half control. Shane Bieber has 2 years of control. He's projected to make $11 million in arbitration. Probably will make, $17, $18 million in arbitration his final year. The Guardians are freaking cheap.
Give me what you have.
That's probably a deal. I bet you if you made the right deal for Shane Bieber, the Guardians would trade him either now or at the trade deadline. The other thing with pitching, though, look, I don't like this, but the Cardinals were able to start the last 2 seasons where everybody said, hey, we need more pitching, and both times at the trade deadline, they went out there and they got, Happ and Lester, and it got them through that innings crunch. This past year, they did the same thing with an upgrade, though. They got better pitching, Quintana and Montgomery. So if you're John Mozeliak and you said the last 2 years, we went into the season and we were able to strengthen our starting pitching innings crunch at the trade deadline, I bet you they just go with that model moving forward.
And quite frankly, in the playoffs, it's been the offense that is shut down completely.
That's why I want a big lefty bat.
Can't you see them, though? I mean, Mo has done this a time or two, and it's been pretty effective. Like, right as spring training starts, he signs a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Kyle Loesch, remember? We just had him on.
Kyle Loesch was a late signing.
They
needed a pitcher, and he had been working out with, like, a local college team to stay sharp, and he was great. Yeah, I look at all the possibilities they have and all the guys who could be really good. I'm on board with most of them. I'm fans of all. But that certainty, we're lacking certainty.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see a lefty bat in there. Add it.
Who would that be?
I already said I want a switch hitter and Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's the guy just because he has good power from the left side, and I think he balances the lineup nicely. But it could end up being Gorman, being that guy. I mean, right now it appears, right, it'd be Donovan at second base and Gorman as your DH. Against lefties. I mean, right?
Against righties.
I just hate to think that Gorman, who is widely considered, the next big ticket, is now just relegated to a platoon scenario. It seems, I don't know. Seems like you're not getting the most out of your prospects then. And if you're still like overvaluing your own prospects internally, and then they turn into platoon players in their first full season, that's not exactly exciting.
I think that's okay to ease a guy into it and see what he has, but it's not just him. You got Burleson, who there might not be a spot for him to even get a sniff, right? We'll see what Walker has. They're going to give him a shot to make the team. What is the role for him? And then the guys who they would have to supplant if they do get traction. There's a lot of talent, not a lot of slots, and will they get a really good look? That's my question.
And I'm high on Gorman, but he's also positionally blocked with the Cardinals. And this is a third baseman coming up. You'd probably, ideally, if he can't play third, you'd probably want to play him at first. Well, you got Goldie for 2 more
you
years.
got the big boys.
And you got Arenado for 5 more years. And let's be real, with the new changes to the shift, I think Nolan Gorman, when you could give him some help, was fine as a second baseman last year. He actually impressed me with his athleticism. Still made some errors, some throwing errors, but he could get to the ball. But I think now you're going to want a super athletic second baseman with the new rules banning the shift. And I kind of agree with Nate there. Like, if Nolan Gorman's not going to be a third baseman for the Cardinals, if he's not going to be a first baseman, if you don't love him as switching him to a corner outfielder, if he's very young, he's already DH/platoon, it just may be better to trade him to get a piece that fits better if other teams still covet Nolan Gorman.
I get you. I get that. Curious, you guys tip your Uber drivers? Wife says no, but I feel like I should. Jobu.
Yes, you tip
Yeah.
your Uber driver.
Yeah, of course. Hell, you're tipping the guys at Subway now. You know?
I do not. I don't tip.
Oh,
I don't tip my Uber
Nate.
drivers.
Really?
Why?
Why?
I just have never really.
It doesn't look like you have an app named Uber.
What are you doing back there?
I can't.
What are you
all
doing
my,
back there?
All my Apple things are all. I don't know what happened. It's a disgrace. Now suddenly they're not talking to each other.
You're what?
I'm not happy with Apple right now. The watch isn't talking to the phone. The phone. It's a joke. Yeah.
You got a lot going on with the watch and the phone, all connected.
Probably getting a bunch of cancer.
Jeez.
I want to know
You
why
do got a lot of stuff going on.
why don't you tip your Uber driver?
I just have. I get like you got to go back into the app and tip them. And I'm
Don't
not
they
really,
send you
They
that
send
thing?
you a notification, I thought.
Yeah, they send it to
He
you.
knows that.
a notification?
Yeah.
I don't get notification. I all notifications are turned off.
It's not even a notification. They just send, hey, would you like to tip?
And he skips that part, Jimmy. He skips that part, Jimmy.
I think it's built into the cost of the ride.
Do you have a good rating?
Very good rating. I
Really?
think it's like, yeah,
I would think-
4.8.
Can the person rate you before or after they've seen if you've tipped? You know
That's a
what I'm
good
saying?
question. Yeah.
Like, could they wait to see if you've tipped to rate you?
Because that puts you on the spot then. You're not going to tip me. You're going to get a 1. And then people won't pick you up, right?
What do you tip?
$5.
On a $20 ride, you tip $5.
A couple bucks. I don't know.
All right, maybe
$3.
I'll start doing
Yeah,
it.
just like you would at a restaurant, ordering $20 worth
It
of
just
beer.
seems like, as from a conservative point of view, you want to celebrate people that want to get out there and work. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it.
Well, I do, and I'm
I do.
paying them for a service that I feel like is additionally tipping.
There's a difference if someone gives you bad service, but someone does
They're getting
their
you home
job
safe.
and, you know, and does what you need.
They're taking you to
Give them a
Gigi's
little
house.
something extra.
And I'm a pretty
Think about that, Nate.
good tipper, but I just have never thought about Uber tipping.
Yeah.
You probably don't tip
You
in
get-
a hotel either, do you?
No, he doesn't. He might not tip at the bar.
You're not a
now that I
good
think
tipper.
about it.
No, believe
I got
me.
news for you.
I
Then
tip
you're
at
not
the
a
bar.
good tipper.
That
You
gets
don't
around.
tip Uber or the housekeeper at a hotel.
Chicks
you're not
see
a
that
good
too.
tipper.
But that's
they
their
evaluate
job.
you on that.
That is their job.
Well, the bartender's job to give you a beer, and you tip them.
Maybe I'm old school.
You're not a tipper, are you? I
I'm
don't
a
know.
big
People
tipper
notice
when it
that.
comes to
People notice that.
The
Nate.
restaurant
Do you
bar
only
industry.
tip where you can get credit for it?
Yes.
Like you're at a
Yeah, points.
restaurant with a
Something.
lady, then you tip big?
Hey, guys, here's my 20.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, everybody waves it around.
Listen,
I
I get where people like say it's gone too far. Where you buy a shirt at Macy's and you got to tip
gotta
the
tip-
guy that
yeah.
that stocked the shirts or whatever. I get that, but the hotel people, they don't make any money, and that's got to be one of the worst jobs going.
Well, why
So
is that
I always
my
leave them
fault? Why is that my fault? Like, okay, then maybe these big hotel conglomerates should think about paying their employees
Okay.
more.
It doesn't. I'm not saying it's a question of fault. I try to support people that work.
What about going through like a Starbucks line and now they ask you if do you want to tip on top of your $8 coffee? It's sort of like, do I?
Well, I mean,
What about like a QT?
Starbucks is for fancy guys like you. I know.
Yeah, I can't even get. Yeah, I ain't going to Starbucks every single day. QT's where it's at. Although their coffee, man, it ain't that good. It's just
That's
not.
why I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's.
McDonald's coffee
Pretty
is
good.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Why don't you make your own?
I do. I make my own in the morning when I get up and I chill and I watch NHL Network, and then I put a to-go before I even get to the gas station. And I dump that out and I have my coffee from the gas station.
So
it's a whole thing.
You have 2 in you before the radio starts?
Oh, God, 2.
How many?
2. And then I'm sipping this one.
That's a big one?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get here.
So 3
homie.
total? You have 3 total coffees before
Yeah, but this
the
one
show?
I just don't finish. I just kind of barely sip it. It's cold right now.
That's a nice, 16-ouncer?
But I'm up early, and I gotta get up. You know, driving tired is dangerous to everybody, and so I gotta get up and get here. So I gotta get going.
So is speaking on the air.
It's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. QT sweet tea is great. Coffee sucks ass. Yeah, Gino, it's not good. It's weird.
Sweet tea?
Sweet tea.
Want some sweet tea?
tea is really good.
Is it good?
Yes.
Do they got black tea so I can get caffeine in that mug?
Yep.
Cool.
And
All right, I'm gonna have to do that then.
But I don't like sweet tea, but I do like yeah.
Don't virtue signal Nate into tipping this Uber driver. Those Uber drivers make tons of money and live very comfortable in their car, Babroni.
I don't think they make
they?
tons.
I don't know. Okay.
I took an Uber this weekend, and this guy was driving a pretty fancy Lexus, and he was probably in his 20s, and he said that he drives Uber because it pays his car payment.
Yeah, I bet, man. A lot of people drive Uber. Hockey Bob's rolling into millions. Look at him. He talks about he's got $1 million to make. So the 314 Murray said that Grice was a Nazi, which is, just throw that around anywhere,
Right.
And so I go, why? And so he sent me a picture of his face mask, and the S's are kind of like, the SS Army. Although I look on my Cam and Strick hat, and Andy's S has a big time. Look at this mug.
Are you guys Nazis?
Oh, my God. Let me look at this. Oh, my God. Oh, it looks kind of like that. I don't know.
I just think
Take it
people
back.
are
Take the
always
hat
on
back.
the lookout for that.
I
You
mean-
know, like the little white supremacy sign that they say.
Yeah, with the.
With Andy the pimp.
Come on now, though, dude. Come on now with that. So he's a Nazi because of those S's that they look cool because they get out of here. Jesus. Now him, though. I don't know.
Bitches.
I don't know about Andy. God. Cam, don't let them coffee shame you. I drink 2 to 3 every morning and maybe another around 2 if needed at work, Sharon. No,
I wasn't
no,
shaming.
you need to shame me for drinking too much beer.
I love coffee, by the way.
Like, it ain't about the Kate's like coffee. Yeah. Should not
You
worry
like
about
coffee?
that. No, it's like, coffee, you have to have it to get up in the morning. I'm not crushing it all day.
I
Now,
do
beer
think
is a different story.
I love coffee. I have coffee every morning, first thing, 6 a.m. I do my second cup now between 4 and 5. I used to drink way more than that. At Fox 2, I would literally drink coffee all day long till about 10 o'clock at night. I will say, as somebody who we always had a coffee pot at the house up until about 2 years ago, I do think the K-Cup, it's so much easier. It's just like in the morning
quick.
when you're tired.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of, I know it's not that labor intensive to make a pot, but I'm just telling you how easy it is just to make the K-Cup real
right.
quick, and it's done within 2
But
minutes.
it costs more money. It adds up.
Well, it costs way less than going to a gas station or
That's
Starbucks
true.
every day.
That's true.
Way less. You can get them K-Cups over at Schnucks.
Do we have a K-Cup machine back there?
Yeah, we
We
do.
do.
I brought one in. Yeah, dude. Get the cheap one from Schnucks. At least you always have coffee
Yeah.
here.
But do you guys find that it's a little the coffee's a little silty?
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Like a
That's
lot
a
of
cheap
that-
one I got in there, dude. That's a cheap ass one.
I don't.
That one, you'll get a little stuff in there. But I'm telling you, man, if you want to spend some coin and get a nice espresso machine with those little K cups where you could, like, they have different flavors and different, like, intense levels on the caffeine. It's like you put one of the black ones in there and you get that little espresso. You take that, like, whop, like, whoa, like, what's up? Like, let's go.
You want to fight after?
Yeah, you're like, ah, let's get the day going.
Okay, I have one of those, and I've never opened the box.
Oh,
I've had
Charlie.
it for 5 years. But when am I really going to use it?
I
just feel
he's
like
having an episode
But
again.
I'm fine with just doing a coffee.
If you want to get going and not have to stain your teeth as much because you're just like, well, bap, a little espresso like Tony and the boys do on Sopranos. Crush one of them. That's a Jersey thing too. You go get a little coffee at the little coffee place. You sit outside, guys are playing cards. Boom, crush a couple of those bad boys. Get going a little bit. Yeah, little espresso machines. They're awesome. Very expensive.
My dad has, he used to work for Nestle, so he had one of those Nespressos.
Yeah.
And
oh,
that
yeah.
that stuff is like rocket fuel.
Yes. I know. It's like doing a gangster. You're like, okay,
But
I'm up.
see, that's what I like about the cold brew, is that stuff.
You like
is
that too?
Packed. Oh my goodness! You take one cup of that. Like sometimes if I go to Starbucks, that's what I'll get in between the two shows, and I notice a big time difference.
I know.
It's just like
Boom. Like, let's go. What do I need to do? Drops. Keurig is life. Screw the environment. The inventor says he regrets it because of the environmental impact. Oh, well.
Because of the little plastic things?
Yeah, maybe.
They're not biodegradable?
Well, they're making up for it in California with the banning straws. So they're helping everything.
Let me tell you something. You can be environmentally conscious and still use a Keurig. I
There
mean,
you go.
everybody, look, there's cups. Everybody's got cups in
Look
here,
at us.
big cups, little
Oh,
cups.
I'm driving
And
an
by the
eco
way,
truck.
I got these little K-cups, but I'm using the mugs at my house.
You should see me slam on the gas on that truck, baby. Wham! Like I'm the.
That's a Hemi. That's a Hemi. That is a Hemi.
Yes. I finally agree with Nate. Corporations should be required to pay a living wage and people wouldn't have to get on welfare. Way to go, Nate. Otherwise, I think most of your policies are a big pile of poo-poo. Tommy the T. Aww.
Poo-poo.
Yeah, I hate saying that.
Are there?
Just say
But
crap.
The question, though, is that
Or shite.
I know that a lot of companies make an awful lot of money. They're in the business to be profitable. But does every job, is it designed to be a full-time job where you're going to end up buying a house and having 2 cars? Or are there certain levels of jobs? I mean, I think that's a fair question, and that's really what the issue is, right? Like, if you're going to work at McDonald's, is that a starter job where for someone younger building a resume and they move on to the next thing and the next thing? Or should you be able to sustain a family by working at McDonald's running the cashier?
Am I out of my mind by noticing this? Maybe it's just Eureka, but if I go to fast food, get my coffee in the morning, I like to cruise, go say hey to my dad, go from where I live to Eureka, I'll get a McDonald's, whatever, in the mornings, on the weekends. I see older people working at gas stations, at fast food places, at supermarkets. I feel like it's older people everywhere. And they're just grinding, older, I mean. Where I'm like, wow, I don't see too many young people working at those specific jobs. Or am I?
I see
out
it.
of my
Fast
mind?
food?
I see
Just
a
like
mix.
fast food.
I see a mix. I
see
say
older
it's mostly younger, but I do see older folks.
Schnooks and stuff. Like I feel like everybody at the checkout's older. Like I'm saying in the 60s.
But I think Schnucks,
That's a union job to check out people.
Yeah.
at Schnucks. That's a union
okay.
job.
those are 40, 50-year-old
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
Like where I go, and I don't want to call it fast food, but I go all the time to Breadco. I
Yeah.
go all the time to Crazy Bowls and Wraps. And that's almost all
Young.
high school.
Okay.
Probably college.
Well, maybe I'm wrong then, Charlie. Maybe I'm wrong
didn't
for
say
once.
that.
No, I am wrong. I'll admit it.
No,
I'm wrong.
I think you're right. I think there
think
are
there-
some
yeah.
older folks who probably have to
Yep.
re-enter the
I know.
workforce, or maybe they quit their full-time job and they go part-time just to make a couple extra bucks, or maybe they have something with their Social Security where it makes sense to make a certain amount. Till
Or
a
maybe
certain
they're
age.
bored and they like interacting with
I
people.
hope that's what it is because I go there
No,
and I saw this older lady at McDonald's, and I was so sweet that she was the sweetest woman. And I'm like, I wish I could have, like that morning, I wish I just could have tipped her out or something. Like she was older, grinding it. She's only working with one other person, and she was the sweetest lady ever. And I just felt sad for her. I don't know.
Sometimes at McDonald's,
It's like a grandma working at McDonald's or later on in her life. Like, oh, I don't know.
I'll drive up early, get a coffee, and the person that takes the order is the same person that's filling the order. It's one
I
person.
know. They go back and forth.
That's someone you want to tip out.
I know.
Because you know what? Some people would be like,
It doesn't
I'm
have
not
it
doing
on
this
there."
by myself. I'm going home.
Yeah. She was
They're
really
doing the job.
sweetest woman, running around all over the place, and it just made me sad. That's all. Made me sad.
But she might be doing it because
I
she
know.
likes.
I hope so.
No, I'm sure there's a
hope
lot
so.
of people where the retirement ran out